conflict between East and West in 1980s Germany, there was an intangible border in the streets and squares in terms of the public space and the public sphere. At the beginning of the movie, we witness a protest by the German people who demand the fall of the Berlin Wall and shout slogans of freedom to the press, no to violence. This protest is held on foot in a wide street that is entirely open to public use. The protesters are marching without harming anything, only with banners in their hands and chanting slogans. However, the police immediately counterattacks and tries to stop this protest by some vehicles and brute force towards the humans, and in the end detain most of the protesters. In our opinion, protests in public spaces should be allowed as long as they do not endanger the life of any human being. The streets exist for us, and everyone should have the right to freely express their opinion and have their voice heard. After the collapse of this wall, very crowded and enthusiastic celebrations were held all over the city. The city squares and the streets were full of people, and firework displays accompanied the celebrations. Since these celebrations are held in the squares and the streets, everyone had the freedom to participate, and since it's in a very large area, almost all people could attend or watch the fireworks from everywhere. However, these celebrations didn't encounter the police obstacle like the protest at the beginning of the movie, because the government was also included in the celebrations. But if we look at it from a different perspective, since a large part of the city celebrates this celebration in every public area of the city, it has become inevitable for those who are disturbed by the demolition of this wall. After all, everyone should benefit the same way from these public spaces, but the majority usually prevails. While there are areas that we can call public spaces in many parts of the city, social entertainments, celebrations, and activities are observed in the streets surrounding it, which we can set an example to the concept of the public sphere. This makes us feel the abstract, invisible thin line between the spaces that we can describe as public space and public sphere. Before the Berlin Wall came down, East and West were like two separate worlds. But after, the works of capitalism began to be seen all over Germany. All old brands have been replaced by new brands, such as Coca-Cola and Burger King have spread everywhere. Western culture has been adopted by the East, and changes have begun to be seen in all areas of life, such as music, art, media, and economy. Public spaces are an important part of our daily life. All kinds of people, regardless their religion, language, race, or social status, meet in these places on the daily. The train stations or bus stops provide a lot of benefits to public spaces. A crowd of people is formed and a safer atmosphere is created thanks to these places. At the same time, there are places that allow people to walk comfortably during the night thanks to their lights. The world clock in Alexander Square is one of the important elements that is an example for the development of public spaces. In addition to enabling people to learn the time, it will gather people around it and will make people stop and look at it for a while because it looks visually beautiful and help forming a gathering place. While considering our daily life, we mostly try to get rid of empty or inactive areas by walking faster, but we want to spend more time in more active and lively areas. Therefore, it is also a plus to have urban furniture that will provide comfort to people in public spaces. Public spaces make up the real identity of the city. The more diverse and vibrant the public spaces are, the more equal and democratic the society will be. Throughout the movie, we watched Alex hide the outside world from his mother in every way. One day when Alex was asleep, his mother ran away from home and she first noticed the new furniture styles of their neighbors in front of their apartment, saw new cars on the highway, and then saw the statue of Lenin being transported by the helicopter and began to realize that life has changed. As we can see from the scenes, all the changes directly affect and change the public spaces we live in. It is actually very easy to fool a person who never goes out and doesn't see the real life with their eyes. But the moment you go out on the street, you face the real life.